There's Monstrous Rage. That's the one that makes blocking hard.
Monstrous Rage, quite good here.
Monstrous Rage will turn the Emperor Challenger into a 4 toughness creature here.
Using the Monstrous Rage aggressively here.
And there's no way to block to get around any of it because Double Strike, Trample, and the Nemesis.
Monstrous Rage, your Palace Cutter.
So far,
and
that's
Monstrous
exactly
Rage,
what's happening.
Monstrous Rage.
Double Monstrous Rage?
You know, there's...
Plus the Monstrous Rage here.
Yeah, Ian. Oh, hello, Monstrous Rage gets revealed.
Oh my goodness.
Are we finally ready to talk about bans? Or is Standard still flourishing? What up, brothers and sisters, and welcome to MTG Malone with me, MtgA Malone. Thank you all so very freaking much for tuning in. It is that time of a day again. Malone talks about banning cards. Yes, and I've been talking about banning this card for so freaking long now. And now it finally won a Pro Tour. And it was in every single deck in the top 8 in the Pro Tour. I've been talking about it. Even people like, Brian Kibler have been talking about it. Solaris have been talking about it. Everybody has been talking about it. So we're talking about it again. Ban Monstrous Rage. Boom! Just ban it. It's time. The hammer needs to come down. Before we get into that, hey Malone, where have you been? Hey, check out this video. If you haven't seen it already. Search for the video bad news and you will find out everything you need to know. I'm not going to talk about it right now. TLDR, I'm sick. Sometimes I will be missing for a day or two or a week, but I'm fine. If you want to know if I'm alive, just join the Discord. Ask me there. I will be alive 90% of the cases, so don't you worry about that. Let's talk bans, baby. Let's talk bans. We know that there will be a banning announcement on the 30th. Wizards has announced it. So let's check it out. As you can see, in the last announcement they said, Standard is flourishing. Welcome to Flourishing Party. I'm dying here, man. I'm dying here. So, yeah. Standard was on display on the Pro Tour Ether Drift, which showcased the rich and diverse metagame. That is correct. But you know what we didn't have in the Pro Tour Ether Drift? Dragonstorm. So, a card that absolutely warped the whole format in the last 2 years, or a year, has been Monstrous Rage. There is no denying. What do pro players say about Monstrous Rage? It defeats the purpose of Magic. You will not be able to block. Should I block? Should I not? I can never block again. There's so many combat tricks that we had over the years. And I don't remember a single time where somebody said, oh, Giant Growth needs to get banned. Oh, I don't know. This little give a creature +2/+2 and make a detective spell needs to get banned. Nobody ever said that. You know why? Because there was no reason for it. Usually if you block, it's a one and done deal. It's a combat trick. That's it. But now we have something like Monstrous Rage that gives you +2/+0 for the turn. And it gives you a token, a roll token that gives you +1/+0, +1/+1. It gives you trample. It gives you all of the good stuff. Forever. You will forever have trample on that creature. So that is something that we don't like. So what happened? Well, we got Core Steel Cutter then. So let's go through the timeline real quick. In case you're wondering why I'm calling for bans. Mono Red has been a problem ever, but we haven't seen it too much. In the Pro Tours and everything, there has always been an outliner. And somebody played Mono Red, people were always like, oh, crazy, this person is playing Mono Red, that's insane. Then we got Core Steel Cutter. And everything was freaking Izzet prowess all of a sudden. Let's look through some of these things. So we have the regional championship here, right here in Montreal. It was won by Azorius Omniscience, which is super understandable because Omniscience is one of those decks that can beat Core Steel Cutter. So, remember that. We had 1, 2, 3, 4 Izzet prowess in the top 8. We had 2 Izzet prowess in the semis and we had an Is It Prowess in the finals. It went 2-1, lost 2-1 against Azorius Omniscience, which once more, this happens, but I've seen everything happen. So yeah. It was taken by Azorius Omniscience. What does Azorius Omniscience have? Temporary lockdown. That is it. And a combo that finishes the game on turn 4 if you're lucky. And if your opponent doesn't have answers and they go all in because they have to, well, now you win on turn 4 with a combo. Let's go to the Ultimate Guard Championship, Regional Championship where I was in Bologna. I was playing Jeskai Oculus. What did we have? 1, 2, 3, 4. Is It Prowess in the top freaking 8? Is It Prowess won the whole thing? Pretty good. Pretty freaking good. Let's go to the regional championship in Indianapolis in May. 448 decks. Where Is It Prowess? I don't remember who won that one. I didn't find a list later, but I think it was Is It Prowess. I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah. Let's look at some MTGO standard challenges also. What is happening online? Oh, what is this? All Is It Prowess? Yes, all Is It Prowess. Mono red aggro, Is It Prowess. Mono red aggro, Is It Prowess. Oh, mono red, Gruul aggro, Prowess, mono red, Prowess, mono red. Wait, what is happening? Didn't you say that, Is It Prowess is the problem? It is. It is. And it warped the meta so much. So there was this one back and forth with me and Jim Davis, where I said this is unbelievable, where I was talking about the regional championship in Indianapolis. That 448, that is more than the next 4 decks combined, which were Oculus, Overlords, Omniscience, and Control. You know, you put them all together, they're not as much represented as Is It Prowess. I played 5 games against Is It Prowess. There was somebody in the Pro Tour right now that played 10 games in a mirror against Is It Prowess. So, what is the problem here? Well, the problem is that Is It Prowess was very, very strong, but there was one deck that could actually beat it very consistently. And that, my friends, is Mono Red. But what do these 2 decks have in common? Well, Monstrous Rage. That is all there is to it. Monstrous Rage is just too good. Monstrous Rage was in every single top 8 deck of the last Pro Tour that we had this weekend. Monstrous Rage is the problem. So, to make you understand something real quick, there is always like a rock, paper, scissors system in Magic, and I am very happy about that. That is very important. You know, you have something like Is It Prowess. It can be beaten by Omniscience, you know? And then you have Mono Red that can beat Omniscience because it's just so fast that you should not survive on turn 4. They have to react to literally everything that you do. And then you have Is It Prowess. That beats all of the 2, but all of the 2 can beat all of the other ones, so you know, it's fair. I like this. My problem with this is that Red is too strong right now. I don't remember a time where Red was this strong, but I do remember that almost every card that needs to be banned is Red, which is also crazy. I think Red is one of the hardest colors to print cards for. You know, just not that easy. So, why is this card so good? There's other cards that are played a lot. Like, what about Stock Up? You know, Stock Up is a card that is played super often. Yeah, that is true. Stock Up is a card that is played super often, but it's not like format warping, you know? It's not like, oh, you have 1 mana open? Oh, yeah, you're dead. I have Monstrous Rage. You cannot even block. You cannot even block, you know? So, let's put all of these thoughts together. We had this timeline. Mono Red was very strong, but never like a powerhouse, you know? I played against Mono Red decks on my way to the RC, and I beat him with Dimir midrange. Pretty good. Where is Dimir midrange now? Nowhere to be seen. Golgari Demons, Dimir Demons, Mono Black midrange, even something like Zur Overlords, which was one of the most played decks in the previous Standard Pro Tour. Nowhere to be seen. Nowhere to be seen. Well, it is seen, but you know, it's so marginal. You could even say that it's just inexistent. Just freaking You know? It's insane. And that was one of the hardest to beat decks, you know? What was good against it? Well, something like, you know, mono red aggro. But then we have Corey Steel Cutter that just consistently wins on turn 4. Coming out of nowhere. He's like warping the whole metagame around it. It's in every single format that you go, you see Corey Steel Cutter. And that is insane. But is Corey Steel Cutter unbeatable? No. Just play Omniscience. Now Omniscience won some, you know, tournaments against Corey Steel Cutter because it's targeting exactly that deck. And what happens? A new deck that targets Omniscience and Corey Steel Cutter comes out of nowhere and brings the Powerhouse. The card that I brought because of Arne Huschenbeth to the RC, which is the Magebane Lizard. I have been playing Magebane Lizard since the day it came out. It was always in my arsenal. Always. I had it in my modern mono red deck as a sideboard card against decks that play Storm, against decks that play a lot of instant sorceries, you know, like Murktide or stuff like that. And now it's the answer to the meta. This lizard is so good that people are playing it mainboard in their mono red deck. So, I'm very happy about all of this. That is good. That is actually Standard is flourishing because people are finding answers. It's said that, you know, the answer to a red-blue deck is another red deck, but hey, I still don't think that mono red would have a chance without Monstrous Rage. So, are we saying Monstrous Rage is needed? Kinda, but it's too good. If it was a one-time effect, alright. But the role, you know, that role is so good. It enabled so much stuff. You now have a Forever Trampler. You now have a creature that is +1/+1. You now have a freaking enchantment that you can use for your Torture Tower. What you gonna do about it? What you gonna freaking do about it? That is the crazy part, you know? So, it is just such a high value card. So now we're talking about other cards. People are like, yeah, but I hate Up the Beanstalk. Ain't gonna get banned. You don't see Up the Beanstalk anymore. It is a super good card. Don't you get me wrong. And if we would ban Monstrous Rage, the decks would still be strong enough, but I think we would see all the other decks again. I want to go back real quick to the RC in Indianapolis. This was before, of course, before Final Fantasy, so there might be some changes as well. But if you look at the decks, there's actually a lot of different decks, which is super cool. Absolutely amazing. We have Izzet Prowse, Jeskai Oculus, Zur Overlords, Azorius Omniscience, Jeskai Control, which is completely different than the Oculus deck. We have Pixies, Dimir Midrange, more Pixies, let's not talk about more Pixies. Azorius Control that is not Omniscience. Gruul Mice. We have Mono Black Demons. We have Gruul, we have everything. Even Absent Pixies. Was 10 decks was Absent Pixies. If we have a field like this, absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. If we have in the Pro Tour 4 different decks in the top 8, that is amazing. Absolutely amazing. But 2, we had 2 decks in the Pro Tour. Izzet Prowess and Mono Red Aggro. And they both moved towards each other until they met in the finals. Therein lies the problem, my friends. Therein lies the problem. There is cards that have been problematic, that have been banned immediately because they have been problematic. Let's look at Modern. Hey, Modern is flourishing. You know, there's so many different decks. I went to a Modern RCQ. I have played not a single time against the same deck. I played 4 games, and all 4 of them have been against different decks. It wasn't the same like a year ago, but now, right now, it's pretty good because they take care of the format. Standard. I applaud them for banning the leyline back then in best of 1, but the leyline was never a big problem in best of 3 or whatever, as you can see right now. Like, you know, Jean-Emmanuel Deprat was playing it back then and said the leyline is absolutely busted. But right now, you know, we're good. The leyline is not a problem for any deck. The problem is and will stay freaking monstrous rage. And I'm saying it, everybody's saying it. It's a problem. 2 decks in the top 8. 2 decks in the top 8. That's whack. That is whack. It's, remember the freaking Hogak summer? Remember Nadu's terrible nightmare? And now we have Corey Steel Cutter Spring. Corey Steel Spring, That is still warped by 1 card that I've been saying in a long time. It's to go. That is Monstrous Rage. Your win rate with Monstrous Rage in your hand is 60 or 70%. On the play, on the draw, doesn't matter. That is insanity. We have way too many cards that are way too good for a card like that right now. The mice package, it's a problem. That is the freaking problem. So what would I do? I would actually keep Corey Steel Cutter. I think it's okay. There is a strongest deck in the meta right now, which is It Prowess, which is fine. It will change. I think we will see other decks coming soon. In a month, in a freaking month, we will already have the next set. In 3 months, we will already have the next set. So there will be new cards. There will be new archetypes. I think artifacts will be making a huge comeback, as we will have an artifact meta with, Edge of Eternity coming down. That is it. So in my eyes, the solution is pretty simple. Ban Monstrous Rage. Get a Resurgent of mid-range, because mid-range right now is non-freaking existent. So ban Monstrous Rage, keep all the rest. But banning Monstrous Rage will already change the format so much. So much. Status flourishing? Yes. But we have like one root of evil that is just like, growing all over it. And that, my friends, is freaking Monstrous Rage. And I've been saying this since years now. Since Monstrous Rage came out, I hated that card. I hated that card. And before we had Is It Prowess, it was one deck that would really use it, but that deck was like easily controllable because usually best of 3 keeps mono red in check. But now that we have another deck that profits so much from it, we need solutions. And once more, I don't think Corey Steel Cutter is the huge problem. Yes, Corey Steel Cutter is a very snowbally deck, but if you are playing like best of 3, you will find ways to answer it, We have temporary lockdown for some more months. But until then, what is afterwards? What happens after temporary lockdown is gone? Well, I don't know. Find out together. But until then, hey, I'll be back tomorrow with the streams. I will be back tomorrow with the videos. Everything will be going back to normal. Don't you worry, but I needed this 1 week. And yeah, that is all I have to say about that. Come to Command Fest Frankfurt. I'm so used to Command Fest Bonn. I will have special tokens for you. And thank you for tuning in. If you agree, disagree, would like to see more like this, let me know down below in the comments. If you are still here, please put a little ban Monstrous Rage down below in the comments. I would appreciate it very freaking much. And remember, my friends, that if you're waking up tomorrow morning and your beautiful, beautiful face of yours in the mirror, that all of you are pretty freaking sweet. I'm MtgA Malone, and I'll see you all tomorrow.